Over while in school, as a law student, I found that people create things and they need to protect. People invent things and they need to protect. That way, it gives you a right to your ownership. Dance for me started in Enugu State, and that was in the 90s. A little talent here and there, and then somebody just found me and said, "No, you can take this out." The dance industry was calm. To my own knowledge then, it was more of ability to do something and showing an interest.
What do most dancers, get wrong when thinking about long-term career stability?
Like they will jokingly say that if you want to deceive a black man, put it in writing because he will never read it. One thing I've realized about dancers, they just want to dance.
I always like to, go back in time to kind of like understand how it all started.
Yeah.
So if you're to, take us back to your early days in dance, what first drew you to dance, and what was the industry like back then?
Okay.
When you were still dancing?
All right. So dance for me started in Enugu State.
Anywhere?
Enugu State.
Enugu State, okay.
And when I was in the Institute of Management and Technology, IMT, for Northlink, and that was in the 90s, the late 90s. For me, I was concentrated on school, mass communication, just, but a little talent here and there, and then somebody just found me and said, "No, we can take this out." Because then Missy Elliott was the reigning queen of entertainment then. So the dance industry was calm. It was fun. People, in fact, to my own knowledge then, I will not speak for everybody. To my own knowledge, it was more of ability to do something and showing an interest. For me, it wasn't making money. It wasn't for a profession. For me, it was just a hobby, a love for movement, a love for dance, a love for entertainment, a love for entertaining people and just catching the groove on the dance floor. Because I used to believe that music shouldn't waste without somebody being on the dance floor. And I dare you to have a birthday party and invite me. I will finish all the gifts and the phrases. So then it was just fun. Enugu State was thriving for the movie industry then. The Nigerian movie industry. So a lot of traditional dances were going on, epic movies going on. But I was just this young girl from Lagos State that came to school, and I was already taking the dance industry by storm in a little way. Like, who is this Missy Elliott? So that's why I got the nickname Missy. And then I worked with Clean the Drunk. Obi-Wan of today was then known as Black Prince.
Okay.
Then there was the Plantation Boys when it came to Enugu. So it was
performed for the Plantation
Yes,
Boys?
we performed. In fact, we actually had
Memories.
We had the opportunity to perform on the same stage at the Grand Hotel, Presidential Hotel, different hotel setup then that were thriving in entertainment. So from there, for me, it was just that fun. But Clean the Drunk took it a notch higher and said, "This is a talent that should not just go to waste." So I began to perform for IMT festivals, programs, and then traveling around the East and Lake. In fact, I had traveled while I was in school, traveled over 20 states in Nigeria at the time doing that. So, but like I said, it wasn't about making money. It wasn't about profession because I was in school. But it was in 2003 or 2002, 2003 when he brought me to Lagos. I grew up in Lagos.
Wow.
Don't be surprised. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
I grew up in Lagos.
But
I was schooling.
In Enugu.
So when I say he brought me to Lagos, most people will be like, "Oh, that was the first time coming to Lagos." I'm like, no, I was bred and buttered in Lagos.
Okay.
But for artistic reasons, that was the first time I came to Lagos, and that was when I carved it as a career.
What year was this?
2002.
Oh, okay.
Night of 1,000 Laugh. With Oprah Williams. So his platform was, if you're not on that platform, you've not started entertainment. So I came to Lagos and featured as, I think I was the only female performer. In fact, they gave me an award for that performance. It was off the hook. I was invited the following year again to still do my Missy act. Missy act for me was all the breaks and everything, and then the umbrella tricks, splits, somersaults, all that. That was me,
In this
Missy.
body.
So, so the industry then was still growing.
Yeah.
It was still innocent in my eyes. It was still thriving gently. It's not what we have today, but the journey has been really, really marvelous.
From that moment, did you think in your mind that, okay, from this professional career, you'll be leading a movement like the Guild of Nigeria?
Never. My God. Then it was like, just have fun, make your money, go back to school, invest the money in school, because I was also, I just finished my OND. I was running a law program in the university at the time. I had become a law student. So I needed this pocket money to sustain myself, to survive. My parents would be like, you've got talents, all of you. Use your talents. Don't go on the road and yeah, and you're all ladies. Don't go and stand on the road.
Yeah.
So, so they kind of encourage our talents to be able to earn from our talents. So then I never thought in my head, if someone had told me that, yes, down the road, I'll be leading the guild, I think the person is cuckoo somewhere. But I would also say that at every point in my life as a young girl or as a student or an artist, I've always had the opportunity of dealing with people. So I always had people gravitate towards me, counseling, asking for one opinion or the other, being a big sister or a big friend or a mommy somehow. So I think that has always been inborn. There are some things you learn, there are some things that you're born with. So that leadership kind of thing,
Already,
it's in there.
yeah.
It was just innate. It was just calm. But from time to time, you see yourself in the class. Like in the class, I always had my friends gravitate around me. It's not about being a fico. Yes, we were a fico in our own little one. We'll go. We'll read together.
Yeah.
We'll go. Do you know this? And I saw myself doing that without effortlessly. So my parents will always tell us that there are certain things that you're born with. If you do not harness them well, you either lose them or you waste them. So I think at a point in time, they've always seen each and every one of us, because we're 7 children. We have our different abilities, and my parents tried to nurture those abilities and guide them properly. So, yes.
What number are you in your family?
Number 4.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
I have 3 seniors.
And
3 younger and 1. In fact, 8 children. Let's just say that.
Interesting. And so, were there specific moments when you realized that dance in Nigeria needed, that needed sort of like a protection and guidance and all?
Yes, that moment came when I started hearing things like, oh, I created this. How do I protect it? When I got to a level in school and I knew that there was something called copyright, patent rights, and all that. How do you protect something you've created? Creators are abound. Creators are everywhere in the world. It's not only creativity in terms of artistic. There's so much. Inventors as in technology, science. So there are many inventions. So while in school, as a law student, I found that people create things and they need to protect. People invent things and they need to protect. That way, it gives you a right to your ownership, to the original creation. And then when I started dancing professionally, I knew instantly that there are some things that these legs, this body will do, and somebody else will want to copy it. How do I now say, oh, this is mine? I put this together without conflict. And that was when it dawned on me that even dance is creation. Just like the technology or science and all that, or patent. It is, you need to protect your work. And that's what copyright taught us in school, and then every other kind of rights. And then in those rights, you also, apart from enjoying it exclusively, you also have the opportunity to extend it to the next person. Those rights are there. So they are all listed in the books of how your right starts and the next person's own starts,
licensing,
you know, and then some kind of inheritance and all that. So it's not a matter of what are you creating. It's a different thing if you're just doing other people's works. But there's also a limit to the way you use other people's works without it seeming like you're spoiling it or belittling it or making something out of it without giving back, you know. So all those things came to mind as soon as I started taking it professionally, and I knew instantly that if I ever happen to become a creator of movement in terms of dance, I need to protect them. Even if I'm not creating, so long as I'm part of something that at the end of the day needs to be attributed to this set of people we need to protect. So, and that's where that realization came, and I started pushing it in every little corners. Oh, you're doing this. This is really nice. You know, you need to protect this so that you don't fall victim of. Oh, that was my work. Because I also know that God Almighty gives all of us the same information at the same or different times. It now depends on who makes a move on it first. And then you see that project on TV and say, they've stolen me. They didn't steal you.
They probably just didn't
deal with it at the right time.
So you know, I've heard so much story about, you know, rights and protection.
Yes.
And you know, dance being an intangible cultural art form, you know, and also the one, you know, from music now to copyright music, there's a kind of like technology that reads all the lines, the production and everything. But for dance, how does the law protect the dancers who has created a work of choreography also? You know?
Okay, so the matter of notation is very important. Yeah, people think it's only spoken words or lyrical words that you notate. Movements can be noted. You pen them down. What the hand has done, the leg has done, how many steps, how many counts, and you name them. That way, you have actually started creating. Okay, like in copyright now. Copyright deals with original works, originality, and things put from idea to a context. It has to be in permanent form. Whether it's written, recorded, videoed, or whatever. So the same thing with dance. You can record your movements. You can notate. You can write it, something. Just put it in a permanent form that allows one to say, okay, this is how it is done. So that even if someone has to replicate it, they are not going out of context on what that dance movement is supposed to be. So the same way music will do theirs in lyricals and then document it, dance can also do that. Note it, take a note of it, record it visually and all that. Call it a name, give it a name, tag it something, you know. It's just like the Igbo dance we do when the music gets to the height. They call it achikolo. From my side, it's called achikolo. Achikolo is when the back, you see them, they are pumping, you know? And achikolo that's the dance style for that. So anybody doing that style of dance, you say, oh, that's achikolo. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where the name came from, but it has been tagged that. Now, if you have to record it as an original work, you have to do something very unique. You understand that? Either you create something around it, but you're still going to do that achikolo, but there's something you're creating around it that is so unique that when somebody sees it, say, oh, I can see Ugo's signature in this. This is her signature. You put that in a permanent form and you go straight to your copyright offices and you do your copywriting. Let it be attributed to your name that you created this. Because a whole lot of dancers have come to me as a chairman to say, I did this original work and somebody is doing it again. And I'll be like, okay, when did you do it? It was an idea we started working on. I said, do you have a documented piece where probably you wrote it, how you started creating? He said, no. Okay, so when did you do it? So most of them are always very, not even They don't even know. Yeah, they didn't record it.
The day, the time.
The time, where, who, probably they just showcased it on stage and somebody saw it. But there was no restriction in terms of video coverage. And if somebody videoed it and put it out there and say, oh, this is an original work I videoed on. So there's a thin line, finding that thin line where you say, okay, this is an original work by somebody. When somebody else records it and puts it out, who owns it? So it is now finding that thin line that you'll be able to say, okay, this was when I recorded it. Even though I did not go to copyright commission, these were the people that saw it. This was evidence of how the thing was created. All those things, you can still prove it if you can prove those things.
And now that we're in the digital age, you can just use your phone to record, keep it, because it keeps the time
and date of it, yes.
Or probably just upload it somewhere.
So somewhere that it keeps record of
so
it.
Once you have that record, if anybody use that movement, that choreography, without letting you know or paying you for it, you can sue them.
Yes, you can bring it up. The thing is, it is your position now to prove that you are the original owner of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Proof, the onus of proof lies in who is contending that this is my work. Okay, prove it. Yes, you did not go to copyright. Somebody else has gone. Because I know that Copyright Commission sees a lot of these kind of situations and sometimes don't. Why? Because a lot of people think that going to Copyright Commission to secure your work is a waste of time. But at the end of the day, when they come and somebody else had done it, you now have to start proving when you did yours, when you recorded it down, the evidence of where you put it, And I don't even want to delve into whatever cases they are dealing with right now in the commission based on, I had recorded it somewhere, though it's not made public, and somebody that had come to the office to record it. So I don't even want to delve into that. But what Copyright Commission is trying to say is, in as much as you've recorded these things down somewhere, you've showcased it somewhere. Yes, it's public. People already have seen it. Sometimes just walk into our office to put it on paper that this belongs to you. Yes, when it's gone public, everybody has seen it. Automatically, it's yours. Sincerely, by copyright standard, once it's made public, that's a permanent form already. But they are still encouraging people, come in.
Do the
right process. So that tomorrow it is on paper, it's on record that this belongs to you. Because not everybody is opportune to see that public display you have done without knowledge of knowing that thing had happened. We still want to come in and register. So to stop these conflicts, the instant an idea comes in here and you take that idea from your mind into a document, because you start writing it. You don't start recording. That's what people don't even understand, that the instant an idea comes, you don't carry camera and start shooting it. You start taking notes. That's notation. You've taken notes of that idea. From taking it, then you can now carry that, even that written work, like a literary work, and go and register. Their requirements are there. What do you need to bring? What do you need to make it done? Then if you're now taking it from that written work to a visual, you can also record it. It becomes still the same permanent. So it's either a written work or a visual. Bring it to us.
And I think this is something that so many digital art forms like music, film have been able to create like a sustainable thing for themselves. Because once they have this put here, they pay for it. Once I'm done licensing it with you, I take it somewhere else. Exactly. Anybody that uses it will pay for it. So I think this is also one of like the challenges for dancers in part of like sustainability.
Yes.
What other challenges do you think dancers have, for when it comes to sustainability?
Part of the challenge is actually, what would I call it? Not scaling yet. Scaling comes with having done the right things. Exploring. A lot of dancers are afraid to explore. Some people are stuck in their old ways. It has to be this, it has to be that. No. There's what we call a merger of cultures, of style. Fusion. You can start fusing. without taking away the originality of a particular dance style. It's just like this achikolo I'm talking about, which is the traditional Igbo dance, and you bring bata. How about fusing bata with achikolo? Using the same beat, for example. Now, that fusion is you scaling now, taking dance from this level to the next. Another challenge they have is that self-consciousness, or should I say, selfishness. Everybody wants to be a kingdom, an island. Nobody is ready to collaborate. My own better pass your own. When you start to dance, when your forefathers were dancing, that's when you started. Okay, me that started today. How can I not measure up with you? That is also a limiting factor, because if we cannot get our head out of that space that we are kingdoms, we are all alone, we will never be able to see what the next person has to offer. Other challenges include funds. Yeah, a lot of dancers have crazy creative ideas, but the funds to push is always a problem. That's why I still encourage them, collaborate. What I don't have financially, you may have. What you don't have technically, I may have. Costumes, all that. By the time you bring 2-3 powerhouses together, you see that if the budget was $1,000,000, you've already taken out to almost 600,000 in terms of what you have and what I have. So collaboration is a problem for them. Fusing what they already have as materials is a problem. Greed and selfishness is also a problem. Funds, like I said, is still a problem. Which other thing? Location. You know, people want aesthetics in terms of when they want to do dance. Hello? COVID hasn't taught you anything yet. Dance can be done in every space. In your kitchen, thank God people are seeing what's going on social media now. Take advantage of it. Another problem is collectivism. People are afraid of being part of a body. You cannot go to a Igbo man land and practice a profession without connecting yourself to that body that pushes that profession. It is not done. And because our people can be so indisciplined and unruly, they want to get away with everything. You can't. The law will catch up with you one day. So being able to submit to authority is also a problem. Submit to a system, submit to a structure. Yes, even if that structure is still finding its own footing, you already know that there's a structure, a body. Submit to it and work with it to make things even better for you. So there are lots of challenges. Now, it now depends on the artist. How do you circumvent these challenges in order to keep moving forward without breaking laws?
Right. And if they are able to do that, this could, first create a kind of like a sustainable career path for anybody.
Yes.
Have there been any moments where a dancer have fall into a trap of not being protected, or maybe they lost something, or they've been exploited for their creative work, and maybe you or the Guild of Nigeria has come in?
Yes, several complaints. At least the first 7 months of coming in as the chairman of the guild, I think I was having back-to-back letters saying that this situation happened in the past. Yes, by law, there's what they call statute of limitation. When you don't carry out an action within the time frame given for that action to hear you and give you your remedy. So when I came in 2017 with my executives, as at towards the end of 2017, between July and August when we came in, I think we actively started our function by the end of the year into January and all that. And I started getting a couple of letters, or not letters, maybe phone calls, because a lot of dancers were yet to understand that by me, yes, being a lawyer and all that, sometimes it takes precedence in terms of administration, procedure, process. That's what law is all about. So I brought that into dance in terms of my administration. So when they call me, I'm like, okay, can you do an official letter, either a written one or an email? Okay. What is your complaint? My 10 years ago, before this I heard that this administration is up and fighting against injustice and corruption in the dance industry. How can you help us to fight something that happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago? And I'm like, that person you're chasing after, is he still alive or is she still alive? That person has moved on. Why have you not? So a lot of those cases were very old cases, old situations, but they needed redress.
And I think that's because they failed to put legal
yes.
But why do you think they kind of like run away from this kind of conversation at the beginning of
the thing is this, we're all the same, whether you're an artist as a dancer or not. People, I think maybe it's Nigeria, I don't know, we do this morapo kind of relationship first.
We just
roll, you know, believing that we are brothers, we are friends, nothing will come between us. But in all truthfulness, when money comes in, when success starts coming in, you actually see the true nature of man. That is when you realize that we're not be porapo, we're not be brothers.
It's very important
to start it, from
talk
beginning,
about what
from
everybody's bringing.
So most of those complaints came and we tried to find solution. But even in the process of trying to find solutions for them, they backed out. Why? Because the egbon or auntie they want to fight is somebody that still puts food on their table. So you see, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You have come to me to complain about one incident. I have taken it upon myself to do a bit of investigation, snoop around and everything. And I say, oh, this person is this person that did this. So I say, you know what? Now senior egbon with this. You know, I don't want to fall on the wayside. I say, no, it's not about, we're not going full force to fight, like gunslinging, gunshots. No. Egbon, see what you've done to hurt this person. This person is still hurting. Meaning that the person has not gotten the solution that they want. Can we, you know? So that was what I now started doing over time and trying to get dancers to, you know, go reflect on old wounds and before they moved on. And sincerely, it did work because he also got me, it gave me the opportunity to see these seniors that had offended these younger ones and even the younger ones that were offending themselves. And I was able to set up small panel for them to have this face-to-face conversation and iron it out and even hug at the end of the day. And people were happy. In fact, you know, because I believe in arbitration and all this. Don't carry anything to court.
And I think that's also one of the role that the guild has to play.
Yes, as an arbitrator, middleman, sit there and listen to all parties.
But,
so the most recent case that we sorted, I don't want to call names, but a couple of dancers went to Abuja for a project and they were not paid. And at one or two artists started voicing that the guild is not doing the thing. You know, it was very hectic. So as soon as I dropped Dance Man Coco in December, January, I now took this off because they were already coming on Instagram, WhatsApp and everything, and making so much noise and calling me out. Like, hey, like I go chop person money. So, but I wrote to the organization. I first of all had a meeting with these dancers. There were about 5 of them. I don't know them by their faces or just chats. So I called a meeting, had the opportunity to meet them physically. So that tomorrow when you're telling me, who are you defending? Who are you? I'll be like, that's the person, that's the girl, that's the guy. So I met them and then I now did a formal letter to the organization. Incidentally, the organization was welcoming and they asked me to come for a meeting and I did. And got to speak with the director one-on-one. Very gentleman. I mean, he gave me the lowdown and said, look, their payment is still pending. It's, you know, small glitches here, but nobody's eating anybody's money. It might take a bit of time, but it will come. And that was how I kept up with these people on behalf of the dancers, the guild moving. And for the fact that the guild had been involved, that alone got the organization to sit up and take notice. And they were like, nice, really nice. For the fact that you people are involved, it means that these people are authentic in what they are doing. So we will make sure it happens. And in less than 2 months, when that glitch or whatever was cleared, they all got paid. All of them, nobody was owed a dime. In fact, the amount they were thinking they would be paid less was doubled. And they were screaming. I was like, yes, And that's the essence of the guild.
Interesting, you know, and some people know the guild.
Yeah.
Some people do not know the guild. And majority of people that know the guild feels like, oh, the guild is not doing anything. They've not, you know, created something that has to, you know, call different generations together.
Yeah.
They feel like it's more like, oh, the older generation are doing that thing in the guild, and whenever it has to do with younger generation, they don't want to come into their space or invite them into their space. So to just clear the air, how would you describe the guild of Nigerian dancers, and what role do they play for these Nigerian dancers individually and as a whole?
The Guild of Nigerian Dance Practitioners is the hub for dance practitioners. So long as you're in Lagos State, which is our chapter, it has a national body, yeah? You are a member by default, first and foremost. Whether you come to accept it or not, just hear my words today. If you're a dancer practicing in Nigeria, in Lagos State, this is your chairman. Until I step down, this. And we are here to stay. In fact, we are over 30 years. So if you do not know the guild, please, by virtue of this broadcast, know the guild today. It is your home. It is your administration. It is your institution. This is the platform that helps to protect you from every adversities that hits you as a creative. This is the platform where you get to showcase yourself as a creative person. Whether they pretend to not know or whether they do not know, but please do know today that the guild is not in competition with what you do as a creative. What the guild is interested in is, how are you practicing? What are the procedures by which you're practicing? Because a lot of dancers or people, so-called dancers, wake up in the morning from nowhere, shake their body in front of the mirror, and they become professionals. When people like myself and a whole lot of others had to go through the grind, go through a training. I trained with Span. I trained with the Jodi Dance Company. I trained with Isioma Williams. I trained with Vagane. You know, who did you train with? It is not just about being able to dance. It's about being able to know the rudiments for every movement you make. Because somebody has to learn from you. Now, the guild protects people through acknowledging first who you are. We cannot protect you in isolation. You have to come to us. My name is, this is where I practice. This is my group. This is my environment. And by virtue of my administration, we were able to decentralize the government somehow. You know, the power is central, yeah? But we created empires around by creating communities. If you live in Surulere, come together within Surulere, not just for creativity, but for environmental growth, community growth. You cannot be in a community, by my virtue of my own administration, you cannot be in a community and you let the community wither. It is the community that gives you your lifeline. So, in that community of Surulere, Bariga, Badagry, come together, harness yourselves. Once you're up to 10 of you, whether you're doing the same dance styles or not, come together. Put up projects that will benefit all of you. So that's what we call the forums. Now, through the forums, I may be a dancer, you may be a makeup artist, you may be a drummer. We decide to put up a production for dance. I don't need to go outside and start looking for a makeup artist. When I have one, I'm already harnessing in my community. Or I don't need to find a choreographer when I know that there are dancers there. So that's what the guild tried to do, creating forums to allow dancers benefit from other artists within their environment. You cannot dance in isolation. You need music. You need a costumier. You need a makeup artist. You need a technical person. So what we did was go into those communities, like in our community outreach, to speak to the community, to say, okay, artists, please come together. The dancers cannot stand alone. Come together, help them. When they have to do a project, harness yourself together. And that's what the initiative was all about.
So when you say, you know, dancers come together, you know, so are you saying that this information that's being passed now, there is a database of dancers in Lagos here? As you guys reach out to and, you know, pass information to say this is what is happening now, this is what is coming in.
So what we did was we now created, when we created these hubs, we put people in charge. whether they were elected or appointed, the main thing is once you have identified yourselves, somebody has to lead it. You can't just let it be. So whoever is taken as a voice within that circle becomes like a team leader. That team leader starts harnessing every other person and trying to make it grow. Then when they are comfortable amongst themselves, we can now hold an election or an appointment to say, oh, this team leader that you guys brought forward has been diligent. He has actually helped us put things together. Let's elect the person as our coordinator. That's the words we use, coordinators. So it is that coordinator we try to reach everybody. So whether there's 3 of them, a coordinator, an assistant, and maybe someone taking notes as a secretary, we have to reach that person. Say, okay, we're coming to Surulere. Let's see what's going on in Surulere. What's wrong with the community? But like I said, avariciousness, greed, selfishness, a lot of things. I'm telling you, the drama is real. In fact, in the past 5 years of what we've been trying to build, it has been nothing but, we have done it too, but somewhere along the line, some people started, what are you all starting? They didn't tell you to turn it into your personal business. It is supposed to be a community gathering where you people are supposed to harness your potentials, help yourselves, and grow. So we are going back to the brass tacks again. We are starting taking it afresh again. As at the last Congress, which is February Congress, they mandated the executives to do that same word round again that we did when we first started. We have to visit the communities again and re-encourage them. So say, dancers, this is your community. Take over. Dancers are very strong people. I'm telling you, they cannot be in a community and they are not noticed. Let's take Oworonshoki, for example. When Oworonshoki wanted to start their own dance community, Oworonshoki dance community, they came to the guild. And when they wanted to actually set off fully, when they were ready, after making all the noise, letting the community know that there's a set of crazy madhouse people there, they called us and we came to meet the Oba. We came to meet the leaders. And we told them that we would take full responsibility for whatever those young boys and girls do in the community in the name of dance. But because we know who we're dealing with, the value and the esteem, we were not afraid because we knew that they were not coming to the community to shame the community. They wanted to take Oworo to the next level. They wanted to take the guild to the next level. So when we came and we swore our allegiance to the community, their leaders, those boys have been doing amazing things till tomorrow. They are doing amazing. So that was what we needed the community, the dancers in their own communities to do. Because nobody go hail you like your own community. I believe in community development. I believe in youth empowerment. So that was why we tried to create those hubs in Bariga, Ikorodu, Badagry, Surulere, Lagos Island, Ajebunle, Lekki, Ojo. There are many of them.
No, Alimosho.
Alimosho. Yes, there's also Alimosho.
That's where I'm from.
No, I will connect you with your own people in Alimosho.
Right.
So that's
all of this hub now,
Yeah.
I think is a great initiative. But what most of the misconception I've been getting is the generational gap.
Okay.
So how are you enforcing that the outreach of these hubs that you've placed in are not just limited to a certain people,
Yes.
but are very diverse in their interest of inviting people
Yes.
when it comes to age, when it comes to style of dance, because one of the misconceptions also is because it's that most times it's always like traditional dance, then the street dance is left feeling like it's not a responsible dance. So how are you ensuring that this hub pay attention to diversity, inclusivity, and bridge the generational gap here?
All right, you cannot stop having issues of generational gaps in Nigeria. Why? Because by virtue of our background, we are a traditional set of people.
Whether background?
Nigerian background.
Okay.
We are set up to have that hierarchy, senior and junior. It happens in our families. A junior doesn't have a voice to say anything when elders are talking.
But in our world today, do you think that is still valid?
It still
should still be valid?
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. That means there should be a balance where the seniors are ready to accommodate the juniors. Because where you think you have known, these juniors are already coming up. There's so many things they know, which is their generation now. So it's left for you as a senior to come down to them. You cannot keep yourself on a pedestal and expect that they will come up to you. They are also stubborn. They want to be heard. So, but if you keep shutting them down and shutting them up, you won't get the best of them. What you get is mutiny and riots. So, I want to use this opportunity to implore to our older generation. These young ones are not babies anymore. This is their generation now. What we used to know, because if you don't put yourself in the middle to be able to cut across both old and young, which I have tried to do with myself, you will continue to lose either way. I'm from the old generation, but I'm also trying to hold on to the young generation because there's so much they are offering now. So until whoever is leading or whoever is at the point of seniority begins to realize that you are losing out by not harnessing the potential of the young ones, we will never make headway. So first and foremost, who is the leader in charge, or who is there? Is the person accommodating? If the person is accommodating, then the younger generation will definitely have a voice. And a voice is not about being rude, which is going to the younger generation now. There's so many ways you can get heard without asserting yourself rudely. Because I'm telling you, these old generation, old dogs, they will stamp their feet down. You cannot, I'm not joking. You can't get past them. Even if you like, use gong and be hitting it, they will not listen to you. But if you do it in a way that they know that this person has something to offer, this person has a voice. See, the talents oozing from here cannot be underrated. You will see that the older generation. So both parties need to find the meeting ground. Now with the guild, with my administration, let me always use that as my case study. My administration has been very receptive of both sides. I caught into the old generation because when I talk to them, I let them know we cannot keep sitting on our high horses and be looking down on this. We need this to collaborate with. And a whole lot of my generation are collaborating today. They are doing that. In fact, I know how many places I've visited that the young generation are dancing today. I keep telling them, look, let's keep marrying what we're doing. What I have and what you have is perfect for the future. You understand? I have done that several times. And I keep trying to let them know that the guild is not only for traditional dance. Yes, I can understand that it started from that sector. The initial people that put up the guild. It started from the National Theatre, dancers from the theatre, but it doesn't mean it belongs to the theatre artists alone. In fact, the theatre, we all belong to theatre. Dance is theatre. Dance is part of theatre, like drama, music, it's all theatre. But not you now saying that it's only cultural dancers and contemporary dancers that own the guild. No. I started as a hip-hop artist. I'm still dancing hip-hop. I'm still dancing the legwork and everything. So why not leave this I don't know, it's pained idea. It's painful ideas that the guild does not belong to them. And because many of them are trying to hide under the guise of the guild doesn't care, the guild doesn't belong to us, and be perpetrating their evil. Yes, enslavement, slave camp, running slave camp, instead of running a training camp. They are running slave. If we start unearthing a lot of rubbish that is going on in our industry, you find out that is why a lot of them are hiding from being part of the guild, because they know that by the policies that have been set up in the guild will clamp on a lot of things. A lot of them would rather not join, rather not be found. So please take notes today. The guild is for all dance styles in Nigeria. The Guild of Lagos is for all dancers in Lagos. Come, let us know where it's pinching you. Let's work on it. Let's know the ideas you want to project. Let's help push it out. Know what the guild needs so that we can collaborate to make the guild stronger and better for us. That's all. You understand? So,
talking about policy, you just made mention about the policy that you guys have put in place.
Yes.
What are the policies that has been put in place to enable a sustainable career for dancers, and not just for the dancers, but to kind of like present dance as a cultural value or asset to Nigeria?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get where my question is coming.
understand.
Because if we look at the cultural landscape in Nigeria, it's imbalanced.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to dance.
Yeah. The first implementation is the guild.
Okay.
That's the first policy. The guild didn't just come out of dust. It came through an instrument handed over by the federal government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the 90s. And this instrument was first passed on to NANTAP, National Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners, NANTAP. They are in existence till today. And the Guild of Nigerian Dance Practitioners was the first guild that was chartered by this administration. Why? Because at a point in time, artists were just everywhere doing what they liked. And the government said, come together, put yourselves together, and we will license you. So that was how NANTAP came about, National Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners. And in so doing, knowing that theatre is all encompassing, that's where I said you have dance, music, actors, singers, costumier, technicals. It embodies a whole lot. But the first guild that was now brought out of that theatre was dance. Why?
Before music?
Before, I'm not joking, wow. The Guild of Nigerian Dancers was the first. That's what they don't even know, because they're not ready to come and listen. The guild was the first. Why? Because dance had long ago been seen as a career, as a practice, not just as a hobby. So once NANTAP set up, it chartered dance. Go ye into the world, multiply and make name for yourselves. Create whatever it will be that will make this practice possible for you. The guild was not established. Policies were not now put up. What policies? Come in. Register. Let's take it from there. What are your needs? What are the things grinding you in the community, in the society? How do you want to practice this dance? When you create, how do you protect it? Then for culture, culture, our cultural dance is our identity. You cannot do the hip hop more than the white man. Neither can he do traditional dance more than you. So, part of the guild was also being given the responsibility to ensure that the Nigerian culture does not die. In as much as we have other dance styles, it has to blend with all those other dance styles. All dance styles have to come together to create an enabling environment for themselves to thrive. Now, the inability for the dancers to even come together was already a problem for the guild, because everybody saw their dance style as superior to the next.
So this inability has been from the onset?
Onset. Not today. Not before.
And why do you think this has been a problem? Is it that the people have not been able to see the policy that will favor them, or they've not seen any benefit of the guild?
The problem is not first accepting that the common denominator holding you and I is dance. The common denominator. What were we fighting against? We're fighting against the same thing that gives us food. Dance, first and foremost. Being able to respect your space, I respect mine. Being able to say that this word dance put together will create magic for us. With or without a policy. First of all, accept that dance is the common denominator holding you and I. I need to respect your style. You respect mine. I can learn your style, merge it with my own and make magic. First and foremost. If we're able to understand that, all the policies will fall into place for us. But we're not ready to respect that element we use as our life work. Dance. Your dance is not better than mine. Mine is not less than yours. If we're able to accept this, the hip-hop artist will be able to dance without reservation before a salsa dancer. But when he sees salsa dancing, he says, they don't even have, they don't do much work. But we pump and crump and everything, we sweat. Hello. At the end of the day, they do all these things. And don't forget, mental work, the memory. If you can remember 3/4 of the salseros movement, then I'll remember your hip hop. But if you remember that we are all speaking what? Dance as a language. we're speaking entertainment, we're speaking love, we're speaking aesthetics, we're speaking joy from the audience, interaction. Everything else will fall into place.
Okay, so not being able to accept that there's a common thing holding us, which is dance. Now, in your administration now, what have you put in place, knowing that this has been
a journey,
a inheritance, when I say a journey that has always been a problem? What has your administration put in place to, create policies or create initiatives that are blurring these gaps,
all right,
these issues?
We've done several programs. Like they will jokingly say that if you want to deceive a black man, put it in writing, because he will never read it. One thing I've realized about dancers, they just want to dance. When you call for training, workshop, talk shop, they don't attend. A majority don't attend. And this majority are the majority that are either trending or have a following, or the younger generation are looking up to. They don't attend. My policy is enlightenment, empowerment, education, carrying everybody along. That's my policy. Nobody is left behind. No, don't never leave a dancer behind. But in all the programs we have put up, and we know that within Lagos we have over 2,000 dancers, I can assure you that we've not been able to record a substantial number to that 2,000 that we will say comfortably comes for the guild's programs. Just to hear, talk, relate, find a common ground to solve problems. At the end of the day, you still see the same dancers you have tried to put up platforms to come and, let's take the Congress, for example, which is a monthly thing. How many dancers come for Congress? Attend the Congress and come and complain. Come and bring your ideas there. Bring up ideas that will move other dancers to be part of movements. Bring up ideas that will make the dance industry thrive. No, they won't come. Because it's on that platform of the Congress that you're able to share information that can change lives. We can put policies. When we talk about policies is not only about government policies. Policy is also about what we agree between you and myself. What we agree as a Congress and say, this is what works for us. This is what we'll move forward on. So that even if you take it to court or to the National Assembly, what is binding on these people? That's our policy. If we say this policy today that no dancer will earn less than in any production, in quotes, in any dance production, whether it's drama and musical, or whether it's a film, no dancer should be paid less than 150,000, for example.
Is there a policy like that?
There's none. Because the dancers have not been able to come together and sit down on the matter and say, okay, I can't do it alone. If I make that policy on my own and it favors me, tomorrow you come out and say, because it's favoring you. But where are the henchmen, the doors, the heavy men in dance industry? Come out, let's sit down and say, going forward, just like the comedians did for themselves. You can't call a comedian for anything less than ₦1 million or $500,000 or 500,000. And the funny thing is that when you are not able to agree on things that will become a policy for you, you continue to get shortchanged. Because if I reject a job for $500,000, somebody will go behind me and take it for 50,000 naira. How does that now favor us? But I can assure you that tailors, the keke drivers, the Okada drivers, the vulcanizers, if you go from one vulcanizer to the other, it's the same amount they are collecting. If they say to pump to 30%, it's 50 naira. If you like, go around town. So we need a range. For example, this earning, we need a range to say, because you cannot put it and say for finality it must be nothing less than 150, because the different types of dance projects happen. There's the solo one, there's also the production. So if we can come up with a policy that says within this range, nothing less than this range, dancer should not earn, then the dancer has the opportunity to negotiate. But we can't when we are not all together.
Okay, so like I said,
Yeah.
one of the misconceptions also is let's say misconception. One of the issues that a lot of people have also like raised is due to the generational gap.
Yeah.
In your administration, what are the age range that you've put in power to handle certain these things?
Okay, my administration first and foremost are very young people, though. Very
From
young.
what
In fact,
age?
I'm also probably the oldest.
From what age?
Okay,
The
let's say
lowest
the
to
youngest. The youngest will be about maybe 30.
Okay.
Yeah. The youngest from 30 to like 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have anyone from 20, 21?
I think when we first came in, the youngest was about 25.
Okay.
So like I said,
What happened?
we've been 7 years in the administration.
What happened to that one that was 25? He left?
No. I said when we first
when you first came in. Oh,
we were in our 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that person has crossed 30 now.
Has there not been a need to?
Yes. We don't work with only the executives.
Okay.
We work with different other people. We've worked with because the guild is set up in such a way that if you're going to do a project, you create a committee. The committee doesn't have to do with the executives. The executives can be put in there as advisor or just, someone that is taking observation of what's going on. But the main people there are members of the industry, and they cut across different age brackets. So when we did the World Dance Day 2024 last year, it was a mixture of old and young. When we did it in 2018, it was a mixture. So my administration cuts across. Value has been, I use value because one, he's one of the very young dancers that cuts across every aspect. He was part of the committee in 2018 or thereabout. We have Sheung. These are young boys that are bringing fresh elements when it comes to preparing for a project. Now, the dance na the Coco we did last year was a mixture of even the youngest was 18 years old.
What was his role?
Her role was to help coordinate the dancers that were going to perform in Dance na the Coco. Her name is Bright. Incidentally, she just joined one of the dance schools. She was picked. That was her role. She and one other girl. I said, please harness all the dancers that will be coming to perform for Dance na the Coco. Relate with them in such a way that they know that you are their generation. So the assignment was given and they did their very best. Then we had, in the committee, we had someone that was to harness the facilitators. This was a young boy. He had to invite the dance machine, the medical practitioner, and some other people. So these are people that we just say, okay, we cannot do it alone because we are older and we don't want that generational gap to continue. In fact, there was also the plan to visit the NAS Magnificent Freestyle Friday, which we have done over the years. We've done that. We've visited several times. We've gone to talk about the guild there. In fact, during the World Dance na the Coco, NAS was invited. No, they didn't show, but they were all invited. I have proof of all invitations that were sent out. But at the end of the day, the choice, it remains yours. Whether you want to come in or whether you want to stay out and stay aloof. But bear me witness that I know how many calls I get in a day asking Madam Chairman, I know I'm not a member of the guild yet, but how can I get endorsement? How can I get letter of recommendation? I can assure you, the people that you least expect are calling. And I'm like, I don't know you. Please come in so that I can know you. When I know you and you have shown me commitment to have known you, then you will get your letter. And you still decide to stay outside.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's something that we need to
yeah.
We need to really like talk where we, and yeah, I'm gonna plan that.
Yes.
But let's go back to sustainability now. What do most dancers, get wrong when thinking about long-term career stability?
They're thinking of instant wealth. Now. Yeah. Hey, I won't blow. That's the problem. They don't know that some people that are blowing today started like 20 years ago on that journey. The only thing they have seen is that social media made them blow. But they didn't know that before social media, that person had been toiling on analog. walking the treadmill gently. The instant social media gave the opportunity for people to become their own producers and filmmakers. This person don't blow. But if you go and ask that person, sit that person down, you find out that for 20 years, that person has been grinding it. So there's no instant millionaire, except you do a competition that even when you win a competition, trust me, the producers will take it out of somewhere. So sustainability, in my own opinion, for the guild has been in trying to create that enabling environment, enlightenment programs, empowerment programs, the talk shops, every program we've been doing has been channeled towards sustainability. How do you scale your dance career from where it is to the next level? By encouraging collaborations, by encouraging institutions to come on board to see what our people are doing. Whether it's a product company, whether it's an educational institution, whether it's a foreign body, whether it's the government. We cannot ask for support or for collaboration when you cannot even show the capacity that you have. Because everything is about data. So you're going to government for support, you're going to an institution for support. The first thing they're asking is, how many are you? So that when they bring that thing that will help sustain or create sustainability, they will not be looking for your members. So I'm using this platform to implore. We have a whole lot of institutions waiting to work with us. But when we look back, no one or few people. And we don't want that anymore. We're saying, don't stop doing what you do because you love to do it. Come, let's build this house. So that thing you're doing plus what we have on ground, when we add it to what you're doing, you are superstars. I cannot eat what the guild has laid out. I can't. It's not mine alone. We need to bring it into your table. It's like you're doing a project, a festival. You're doing it solo. You're not acknowledging the guild because you think what? They will take am I taking your rightful place? I'm not taking your place. But what we have in terms of capacity, in terms of connect, we add it and say, oh, we have this festival coming up by this group of people. Please bring your international stuff on it. Please bring your product. Please bring your funds. Please give us the grants. And they are seeing the evidence. And they now know that apart from this festival, apart from the people around you, we also have 1 million other people. They are ready to. So sustainability lies in our hands. It's how we decide to work with the guild for that sustainability, because we have a lot of programs. When we table them out here, it's all about helping you scale, helping you grow, connecting you with other places that you've not been able to reach connections.
Because we really need the government.
Yes. Presently, even the dance na the cocoa we did last year, we invited one of the government officials, this SSA, to the governor of Lagos State on wealth creation. Yeah. Mr. Tijani, he's aka Seedoff. Okay. And he came and he talked about employment. He talked about wealth creation using dance. As I'm talking to you, we are in discussion with him concerning what he came to discuss with us at Dance Na the Coco, on how we can create wealth for dancers through his administration. And by God's grace, it's going to happen very soon. I will be revealing.
Are there documentations of all of these meetings?
Of course, yeah.
Because I think it's also important when these meetings are happening and people
pictures,
are seeing
videos.
It, not just even pictures, but videos. So people are hearing what is being heard also, to be able to hold the guild accountable.
I think part of our challenge or part of our fault has been that we've not done that visual aspect properly. But we are taking a seat back now to start working on media. For every movement we do, for every place we go. Like I was sitting down waiting out, I was like, to say I carry my media people, come now. For don't show them say, we are at Fidelity Hub. I said, no problem, I will stress you. We're going to do that. You understand? So visibility has been a challenge. And I sincerely want to apologize to the entire dance industry, Lagos State, to say, it is not about just doing it on the ground and then voila, miracle has happened. A whole lot of work has been going on the ground. And we apologize for not having carried you along by putting the camera in our faces, on our feet, to say these are the places we are going, these are the things we are doing, and then throwing it all out there. But trust me, for your own interest, for your benefit, for your for your well-being. This administration has been working very hard, sincerely, and I'm taking that oath right now to tell you that going forward, for every movement we make, even if my phone will go use video, we'll video it and put it out there and say, see where we went to.
Okay.
See what we're doing.
Let's have it. All right. So my other question on sustainability is also like, for your advice, how can dancers start thinking about financial planning, contract negotiation, and legal rights as part of their artistry?
Okay, so financial planning, I'm not a financier or a financial guru. It's all about, like I said, talk shop. We invite the right people from the institutions to talk to us about financial planning, savings, and all that, and how to manage funds. If they give us the opportunity, we will invite them, and the experts will come and table these things out for us. That's financial planning. Which other question?
Legal protection.
I'm a lawyer. I've always said it. My door is open. Come. I have team of lawyers, colleagues waiting. Ugo, these your dancers, they enter trouble. They have matters that they want, and they have the pro bono unit. They support any cases. We have the PDSS, police duty solicitors, lawyers. What they do, they go to the police station. If they are indigents, the people that have been incarcerated for one little crime or the other, they bring them out. So if you're a dancer, you have issues, let me know. We have tried to set up the legal department, the disciplinary department, but I cannot do it. My executive can't do it alone. We need the dancers to be part of it. We need to invite the right people to say, oh, this person might not be a dancer, but he has the interest of law. This person might not be a dancer, but he knows what's right and wrong. Sit in that panel and hear these things out. So legal representation. See, I swear down, I am available to connect any dancer for legal representation. Then for the last one on that same this thing,
contract negotiation.
Contract negotiation. It is very essential. The guild had even created a unique contract. I can't remember where that document is. Like I told you, I'm a lawyer, so all I'm thinking is procedure. So before I even sat down in that office for a week, I had created a contract, drafted a contract, which dancers could give to a producer and say, this is coming from my guild. It has been drafted in such a way that it favors you. It does not disfavor the production, of course, no, but it puts you in a place of protection. Your insurance. How many dancers collect insurance when they are in the production? You break leg to get in the production. Sorry, you're not insured. But that contract had it. Artist management, your welfare, your artistic fee. In fact, I had sat down with my colleagues and we drafted something comfortable. But we need dancers to come on board to collect that contract and go for a job. But you trust Nigeria. When you challenge a producer now, you go say, this one never ready to work. See this blackmailing thing we do with ourselves. It has to stop. You as a producer know that there's an institution for dance. Invariably or automatically, you should know that these people may come with their contracts. Don't belittle it. Don't look at it like, if you're not ready, I will go call the person who can't do this job for free. Because the person is trying to be professional. The person is trying to set up that profession professionally. Attend to that. But because they want to cut corners and be sneaky about the way they treat the artist, they would rather not. And then when you read their own contract, it's Herculean. Yes. So if dancers are ready to restructure their structure to favor them, then with one voice, we can begin to talk to those producers, be it in stage play or in film, in school, to let them know that we have a body that is speaking for us, and the body says this is the contract. Gradually, they will begin to conform, knowing full well that, these people are so united, you cannot break that.
Talking about structure and being ready, how do you see dance evolving beyond just, like you said, performance, entertainment, but also like an economic and, cultural force?
Yes. Well, why I love dancers is because we know they stay one place. We are ambidextrous. We are multitasking or tasking. And a whole lot of us are multi-talented also. and we are beginning to infuse a whole lot with dance. You are a dancer. What are you doing with cameras? I'm wondering. But now you're talking dance. So invariably, you're also adding value to dance, the dance industry. So I want dancers not to see themselves as limited to just performing. I want them to be able to harness every other element that are within them to enhance that dance. Let me take someone like Kudus Onikeku, for example. Kudus is someone that dances. Yeah? All his life is dance. But when he traveled outside the country, he not only did dance, he was into acrobatics. He did dance art management. He did dance trainings and all that. Now today, he has been able to harness all those potentials to create an industry for himself using dance. So the same way I will say for myself, I'm not just limiting myself to performing on stage because I'm still a performer any day, anytime. But I've got other talents that can enhance myself as a performer. Yeah. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I danced physically. But in the past few months since I danced last, all I've been doing is dance. Either I'm helping other people to get on their performance, or I'm contracting for somebody, or I'm consulting on dance. In fact, I have performance on Sunday. They are contracting me to get dancers to perform at an event. So you see, these are many ways, but dancers are so, before I became what I am today, I used to feel that if I don't perform, if I don't move, I will not eat. Food will not get on my table because these legs will go to waste. I now realize that there are so many ways to enhance dance without having to jump on stage and physically do it. By also training others, by also marketing, by also consulting, still on dance, by doing visuals and putting dance materials out there. And that's all that put together is enough to, sustain someone and create that cultural identity for us as dancers. Yeah.
So what initiative or policy is the guild currently working on to ensure long-term change?
All right. So, well, it's still all about finding the value of what you're doing. Our policy will remain that being truthful to that craft. If you say, okay, you're a consultant, how do you consult with your clients? What kind of deliverables are you doing? Not being lazy on the job is very necessary because people take for granted that no be dance, jump here, jump there. I can do it. Okay, you try it. When you see say you know fit try, you come back to us. But when they have approached you as a consultant in dance, what are you giving? So our policy remains that you have to be honest about the job. You have to be truthful about it. You have to, go beyond just making the money, but actually establishing dance as something worthy of being a career. So our policy will still remain that dancers have to be honest about what they do, be due diligence in what they practice, deliver as you have promised. Use the professionals that know the work. Some people want to cut corners because they want to underpay. They would use people that have not been trained or schooled. Do the work yourself. Find the time to deliver by yourself. Like they say, when you want a job, something done, do it yourself. Do it. Get down to the nitty-gritty. Don't take it for granted that, last they will be all right. No, our policy remains that dancers must be due and diligent about dance works. Be it as a performer, be it as the creative. And your pricing in terms of that job should not be in such a way that all you're thinking of how to cut these people's heads and yet you're not delivering. Yes, everything must be commensurate. The professionals must be there. Is it in costuming? Your costuming must be intact. Your everything. You see, dance. Oh, I don't know how to.
There's a lot, but yeah, there's a lot. But,
there's a whole lot. At the end of the day, the deliverables must be delivered.
Yeah, it must.
Yeah,
it must.
And follow the guidelines.
It must.
The guild is there. Please don't misbehave.
Yeah, I think that's where my last question goes to. How can listeners, dancers, cultural practitioners the government, how can they support and strengthen the guild to build a better industry for everyone?
Well,
everyone,
everyone,
every style,
yeah,
every generation,
yes,
every gender,
yes.
every idea.
Well, everyone can help by, first of all, not seeing dance as something by riffraffs. We have a whole lot of families have talents, creative talents, but they want them to be doctors, they want them to be engineers. It doesn't stop your children from still being those things, but the innate ability that is already there is there. Parents are sometimes very blindsided. They don't, or the blind spot of their sight is always focused on the academics, but there's also the creative. Find out what your child has as a creative. That way, first and foremost, you've already discovered. Meaning that as an interested father or mother, you start chasing that dream for that child. Even if in the long run, the child does not become that thing, you would have made life easier for that child through the formative years. One. Secondly, invest in that talent. I implore the government, I implore parents, I implore schools, I implore institutions. When you see a talent, invest in that talent. Because sometimes you find out that what you do...
invest in the talent or invest in the guild?
No, invest in the talent first. I'm talking about the individuals first. Invest in the talent in the sense that it's in the talent that actually makes up the guild. If we don't have talent, we can't have a guild. It's an interested talent, a well-formed talent that is ready to be part of. Okay, my talent has been formed. I think it's time to bring it to the guild. But when you have a half-baked talent or a disgruntled talent, he's not ready to come and be part of a guild. So first of all, it behoves on our parents, whatever we are harnessing from a background has to be comfortable, has to be fully formed. So I'm ready to be part of a system. The government also has to help in terms of, accommodating us as an association, as a body. Yeah. And when we eventually are able to take some of these policies, like I said, that we agree on, because we have our constitution, no doubt, but there are certain current things that we need to take together as a family and say, okay, we're pushing it to the government. That only when it becomes massive law, the law, that's when, the law of earning, the law of practice, if we're able to push that into the Senate, why not? Dancers will start conforming. But because a whole lot of things are still taken for granted, so we need the government to still come in to support. We need their families, we need institutions, and the guild can continue to explore other avenues of ensuring that dancers, like membership registration is still there. A lot of members and dancers need to be registered. That way, when we have our data, we're able to push initiatives out to say, okay, these dancers are peculiar in their staff. They need this help. They need this assistance. And the guild is there to write to these organizations to harness such potentials to continue to push the dance industry forward.
Interesting. So in other words, we need to come together.
Yes.
Yeah, so interesting. What would you want your legacy to be?
Well, my legacy, I would like my legacy to be all about dancers' development, empowerment, dancers uniting to build a common cause that they will, from generation onto generation, they will be reaping from. People think that success and wealth is all about money. Sometimes it's connection. Sometimes it's contact. Sometimes it's the impact you make. I want to be able to be known as that lady that made impact in not just the dance industry, but in each and every life of every dancer that had the opportunity to deal with me. An impact so positive that it's life-changing. And for generations to come, it would be more like, oh, it was when I met Ugo that this thing changed. This thing became a difference, I want that. I don't want to be, I'm not a Mary Slessor, but I want to be known to have in someone. through the guild.
Just like you made impact now
Uh-huh.
via this podcast, because there's so much knowledge and insight. I think it's very necessary, and I hope someone out there hears and get inspired, to do better and to always question, certain things, to be clear about what is next and all. So thank you very much for gracing us.
Please join the guild. Come on. I'm lonely here without you.